got gratitude for you, and here I'll send these waves right to your ear. I've got gratitude for you, and here I'll send these waves right to your ear. I've got gratitude for you, and here I'll send these waves right to your ear. And gratitude for you, and here I'll send these waves right to you. We're live now? We can do another song. Should we just do another song? Yeah. We'll do one. That'll be 3 minutes. And then we'll do that first. Yeah. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone on the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Oh yes, I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is that rainbow we've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, there's nothing but blue skies. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone on the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day, yeah. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's a glorious day on the planet I love. True story. Let me tell you what I'm thinking of. 'Cause I've been wondering why it was. But it's just life doing what it does. We keep trying to mess it up. They keep trying to bring us down. So we're just gonna smile at everything around. 'Cause I've got earth beneath my feet and the sky above. And it's a glorious day on the planet I love, oh yeah. Don't tell me about someday, somehow, 'cause all we need is right here, right now. I've got some rhythm and I got some rhyme, yeah. I've got my music and I got my mind. We were singing in circles, imprisoned in the past. No, I'm just gonna be, and I'm free at last, 'cause I've got earth beneath my feet and the sky above. And it's a glorious day on the planet I love, yeah. Because there's children playing somewhere. How's life on Jupiter? I don't care, oh no, 'cause we've got lovers just laying there. Yeah. Well, I'm no hero, I'm not brave. I'm just tired of being afraid. 'Cause I've been wondering what it was, but it's just life doing what it does. And I've got earth beneath my feet and the sky above. We gotta rise above that old push and shove, 'cause I've got earth beneath my feet and the sky above. And it's a glorious day on the planet I love. Whoa, whoa, it's a glorious day now. Oh, oh, such a glorious day. Yeah. Oh, oh, it's a glorious day. It's a glorious day on the planet I love. It's such a glorious day on the planet I love. It's a glorious day on the planet we love. Happy Sunday, happy Easter, welcome to Hilltop, everybody.
Happy Easter. Am I on? Oh, I have to turn it on. Well, that changes everything. There we go. Happy Easter, everybody. Buon Natale, as they say. And for those who are celebrating Passover, happy Passover to you all. And Ramadan, we're in all of that. Okay, guys, I'm talking. Get a phone number. So anyway, I just want to welcome you all here, and I want to, again, welcome all you who are watching out in the virtual world. I want to say hello to all our friends in Oregon. I want to say hello to our friends in New York. I want to say a very special hello to Roger, who's watching this morning. You know who you are. We're just so thrilled that you're joining with us in our community today. So happy Easter to all of you, and happy Easter to everybody, I suppose. Yeah, and that was the end of that sentence. So, good morning, Lee. How are you this morning?
Very well, staying busy as always. So
Good.
Good to be here.
Good. You playing any place interesting?
Are we talking about the one here next month?
Yeah.
May 21st. May 21st, we're doing a show right after Sunday service.
Yeah.
With my friend. It's May 21st, Sunday, after service. My friend Anna Ballou, who's an amazing singer-songwriter, kind of jazzy Americana, and myself, we're going to do a show together. So May 21st.
Cool.
Right here.
And good morning to you too, Jim. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well.
Good. Your class commandeered you today, huh? And you went from Taoism to resurrection, or something, or Easter at least. Yeah. Cool. Well, actually, I'm going to go from resurrection to Taoism today, I think. Or something like that.
Yin yang.
And Kurt, it's always great to have you here. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well.
Good. Happy Easter to you.
Happy Easter to you.
Thank you. And everybody else, anything cooking? Oh, we were having this conversation earlier. Yeah, and I don't know if I want to let it go here because you guys will just have to witness a conversation that goes deep and nerdy and latest books and whatever struggle we're in. But anyway, I'm glad that you're here this morning. I'll give you the steering wheel here, and you can take us where you will. Hopefully, we'll end up in God.
We always do.
Yeah, inevitably.
Luckily, there's no other way.
There's no other place to go or no other way to go.
Otherwise, we would all have a very challenging existence. So I'd like you to just join me this morning in prayer and just recognizing, for myself, we've had 2 months of glorious rain in this state. My place, I haven't had a well running for 2 months, and my well broke. And now things are starting to need water. And it's really interesting. It's around, the idea of prayer that we're doing here is about renewing within ourselves that rejuvenation, that resurrection, and just knowing that we need to nourish ourselves. So I'm just so grateful that everybody that's able to join us here today in person, online, and those that even aren't present, that we have this opportunity to come together on Sundays for this service, for Reverend Guy's words, for Lee's music, for any words that are spoken, the conversations. Really, it's all about building community. And so I'm just grateful for that opportunity for everybody to join together today and coming to that recognition through the words, the insights, and the connection that, love is all that there is. And that we exist in love, and when we let go of judgments, criticisms, any little thing that's bothering us, that we all have one thing in common, that we are all those unique divine beings having a human experience. And what better way than to come together and just to connect, to share in whatever's going on in our life, whether we see it as good or bad, knowing that it's all God, knowing that we are divinely guided, that this service unfolds through a divine power that exists within each of us. And so on this day, I just give thanks, knowing that all is good, all is well, and just grateful that everyone is here, grateful for myself to be in service, and all that unfolds. And so I release those words, and together we say, and so it is. So it is. All is well. All is well. So our reading this morning comes from John Sweeney, and Reb, I think, is going to bring something into the talk there because he shared this reading with me. And he says, when the world is coming apart, don't stay in bed. If you're a writer, do that. If you paint houses, keep painting. The Jewish text, Avat de Rabbi Natan, says, if you have a sapling in your hand and people tell you that the Messiah has come, plant the sapling and then go and greet him. And so it is. And so now, before we do our meditation, I'm going to lead you through loving kindness meditation. So I invite you just to get comfortable, maybe take a couple deep breaths, and just become present, knowing that this present moment is all that there is. And now I'd like to invite you to just think of someone or an animal or companion person who fills you with love. And invite that love to enter into your heart and just feel it. And just pause in a breath. And let it fill your whole body. Let it just move from your heart into your whole body. And now quietly say to yourself, or if you choose, say out loud, may I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. And now picture that person directly in front of you, or that animal, whatever you choose. And just quietly, again, or out loud, say to yourself, may they be filled with loving kindness. May they be well. May they be peaceful and at ease. May they be happy. Now let that feeling of love just fill the entire sanctuary here. And quietly, say for the congregation, or maybe someone specific here who you know could use that prayer. May they be filled with loving kindness. May they be well. May they be peaceful and at ease. And may they be happy. And so it is. So I'd like you to join me in a 3-minute silent meditation. We'll open your eyes if they're closed and see what Lee has in store for us next.
Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for them springing fresh from the word. Sweet the rain's new fall, sunlit from heaven, like the first dew fall on the first grass. Praise for the sweetness of the wet garden, sprung in completeness where his feet pass. Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, born of the one light, eat and saw play. Praise with elation, praise every morning, God's recreation of the new day. Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for them springing fresh from the word.
Beautiful. Please welcome the Dr. Reverend Guy Williams.
in that is the spaciousness of uncertainty. There is where there's room to act. So it's when we enter into that liminal space of, man, I have no idea what's going to happen, is where the real juice is. That's where it becomes interesting. That's where the story becomes our story. Because it's easy just to look at the Jesus story about what it was and this radical teacher, healer, who he was, and just think, oh yeah, that was great. But that's not what he taught. That's not what John wrote. And it's not what it means for you and I. Because it's a story that we tell so that we remember. Last week I quoted you guys one of my favorite quotes, which is from Walter Brueggemann, where he says, hope is, or memory is to hope what amnesia is to despair. Memory is to hope as amnesia is to despair. And so we tell the stories so that we remember that even in the moments when it seems darkest, even in the moments where it feels like all is lost, this is where the juice is. Dr. Ernest Holmes, one of my favorite quotes in the Science of Mind text, Dr. Holmes talks about that. He says, when things seem to be their darkest, that is the time to act. That is the time to pray. That is the time to engage. He says, to the person who can throw themselves with complete abandon into that infinite sea of receptivity, having let go of all apparent moorings from the past, to them is the greatest reward. And that's the interesting way to live, and that's the interesting thing about the story of Mary of Magdalene. Because what's really interesting about her is that Mary of Magdalene, she's been so vilified in history. I can't remember which pope it was, Pope Gregory or somebody or another, said that she was a prostitute before she became a disciple. Not true. She was actually, according to the work that this woman Libby Schrader's doing, she was actually the sister of Lazarus, a close friend of Jesus, lived in the city of Bethany, or the town of Bethany, and was very active, engaged. She was never, ever a prostitute. And her name, Magdalene, isn't a place. It means the tower. So Mary the tower. So you have Peter the rock that the church was built on. But you have Mary the tower. And towers in the ancient world were what? They were lighthouses. They were beacons. So it's Mary the beacon, Mary the lighthouse, Mary the one who creates a new imagination. And it's really interesting because in the Gospel of John, she's the first to see Jesus resurrected. It says in the Gospel of John, that she went there and she saw that the stone had been rolled away, and she's weeping and she's distraught, and she looks in the tomb, and there appear to be two angels there. And then she steps out and she sees Jesus, but she doesn't recognize him. She thinks he's a gardener, which is a really interesting thing, especially thinking of the song here. Because how do things begin? They begin in a garden, and then they go astray. And here she meets him and she thinks it's a garden, and it's a new day. John writes it's the 8th day, which means it's a new week, it's a new life, it's a new everything. Everything has changed. But she doesn't recognize him until he says her name, Mary. And then she knows who he is. And then she wants to hold on to that a moment, and he says, no, not yet. Go to where I was when we were together, and I'll be there. And again, we don't know what happened, but here's the interesting thing about that. Where does she go? She goes to where the disciples were hiding. Why are they hiding? Because they're young men whose leader was just arrested and executed by the Roman Empire. What would you do? And she goes, but where does she go? She goes to the place where they had met the Thursday before and shared a meal. And Jesus appears there. He doesn't take him to the tomb. He doesn't take him to the cross. He doesn't take him to all the things that are associated with death. He takes him to the table, or he meets him at the table, the place where the table is, the place where there's a meal, the place where Jesus talks over and over and over and over and over again about a table, a feast, where everyone's invited. And this is where he meets them, the place where anyone and everyone is invited. And she goes and she says those 5 words, I have seen the Master. I've seen the Master. There was no television cameras there, and there's no written history of what happened there. And what we know is that we really can't trust the accuracy of scriptures because people have been meddling with them while the ink was still wet. So don't be giving me this story about the inerrancy of the Bible, that the Bible is true and that it's God's absolute word and it can't be argued, because people have been editing this doggone thing for centuries. It's not the point. But the point is, why did they say the things that they say? Why did they tell the story that they tell? What are they trying to say? And here it is for me. This is how I sit with the story. I don't know. You don't know either. I don't think anybody knows what happened because there's no witnesses. But this is what we do know, is that somehow or another, in a way that maybe you have experienced yourself, you have encountered someone or something in a way that you did not expect, and your life has been changed forever. We don't know what happened, but what we do know is that people encountered the experience of Jesus several days after his death, to the point where they were saying, he lives. He lives in a way that I have had a conversation with him. I have seen the Master. And those people that were hiding in that room were willing to do anything because something happened to them there. The invitation of Jesus was not for any one of us to live the status quo. The invitation from Jesus is what it would look like to create a new world based on this idea of logos. And maybe this is an important thing to talk about here. Because, again, if you look at the Greek, if you look at the writings, what they were there, what's in those things is not so much that Jesus is this magical being that is apart from everyone else in all his experiences, and he came down here to sacrifice his life to some moody God who claims he loves us so that they could pay a debt and a ransom. By the way, do you realize that whole theology of Jesus' death being a ransom was invented 1,000 years ago by a medieval monk by the name of Anselm? Didn't exist before that. The idea that there was a debt to be paid isn't there. It wasn't written. It's not what the story tells. But the story tells that somehow or another when we encounter this individual, our lives are radically changed. And so going back to myself then, I think, why was this Easter talk such a difficult talk for me to wrestle with? It's because I allowed myself to be lulled, insulated from the Good Friday. I had to ask myself, what is it that I didn't want to face? What is it that it was time to crucify? In my own life, metaphorically speaking, of course, I hope. Because we really don't have that rebirth until we have that death. You know, it's interesting. In 2008, the planet Pluto, which deals with death and rebirth, went into Capricorn, and we watched since 2008 all the things that are attributed to Capricorn: institutions, bankings, medicines, all religions, law, all these things going through a death, breaking down. What we saw in the last 5 years is how fragile all these systems are. And that maybe something else is there. You know, that's that death, rebirth. Because maybe, if we actually paid attention to what Jesus was talking about, that what we see is his message, which was one of love, of reconciliation, of forgiveness, which is the power of the Logos. And Jesus takes on the experience of the Logos, that which was there at the very beginning of all things, that which heals, that which reconciles, that which creates novelty, that which creates all things new. He embodied that experience, but it pre-existed him. Jesus becomes the Christ, but the Christ isn't Jesus. The Christ is the spirit of creation that is available to each and every one of us. As St. Paul says, let the same mind be in you that was in Jesus, the Christos, the Logos. And that was his invitation, is that you and I could encounter the divine at a deep and personal level, that we can allow ourselves to let go of all those areas in our life where we feel alienated, alone, cut off. For myself, that Good Friday experience for me is to crucify that voice in me that speaks in shame, that voice that says, you're a complete misfit. And what would my life be like if I didn't have that belief running, that shame? What would your life be like? And I think that's the message of Mary. You know, instead of resting on a rock, a foundation, an institution, what if it was a guiding light, a tower? And I think the key word there is the word imagination. And why I love that song so much is it's really a song about imagination. And creating a song or a thought on imagination is how we engage this idea of hope, which is like a muscle. It's an active discourse within us that says, I have a role to play in my life, and I can make my life different and better than how it is. And in that darkness where I have no idea of what that is, that's when I engage my imagination. That's when I apply myself. That's when we practice all the tools that we have. And if we think about it then, you know, by allowing ourselves to engage the imagination of love, we begin to imagine our life and the life of the world based on love. Love that morphs the power of empire and its destructive powers, morphs them into caring and justice, and more importantly than that, celebration. Andrew Hati Roy says this: the system will collapse if we refuse to buy what they are selling, their weapons, their notions of inevitability. Remember this: we may be the many, but they are the few. They need us more than we need them. Another world is not only possible, she is on the way. On a quiet day, I can hear her breathing. Another world is not only possible, it is on the way. And if we can spend quiet times, we can hear her breathing. So what do we do with the Easter message? We live our lives. we live our lives in every way we can. What you do, do it with integrity. What you do, do it in the power of love. What you do, don't buy in to the empire of extraction, but rather engage the imagination in what is possible and refuse to believe that the few are more powerful than the many. To go back to this quote at the very beginning, when the world is coming apart, don't stay in bed. Don't hide, don't narcotize, don't tune out. Get in the game. If you're a writer, do that. If you paint houses, keep painting. The Jewish text of Avot de Rabbi Natan says this: if you have a sapling in your hand and people tell you that the Messiah has come, plant the sapling and then go greet him. In other words, chop wood, carry water. Do what you do and bring light to that. Easter isn't an historic event. It's a state of mind. It's a state of being. It's a state of living in hope. It's a state of defiance against empire. It's a consciousness that creates all things new. Happy Easter.
Steve, this is the slide from Stevie Wonder, a very hopeful, imaginative, Easter-friendly song here. Sing along if you know the melody.
Like a long, lonely stream, I keep running towards a dream. Moving on, like a branch on a tree, I keep reaching to be free. Moving on, cause there's a place in the sun where there's hope for everyone, where my poor restless heart's gotta run. There's a place in the sun before my life is done. I've gotta find me a place in the sun. Like an old dusty road, I get weary from the load. Moving on, like a tired or troubled earth, I've been rolling since my birth. Moving on, cause there's a place in the sun where there's hope for everyone, where my poor restless heart's gotta run. Here's a place in the sun, and before my life is done, I gotta find me a place in the sun.
Sing one more chorus with everything you got.
There's a place in the sun where there's hope for everyone, where my poor restless heart's gotta run. There's a place in the sun, and before my life is done, we gotta find me a place the sun. I've gotta find me a place in the sun.
You sound beautiful always. That's Stevie Wonder.
That was a great song.
So special.
Place in the sun. You know, we have that here on top of the hill, and I know for myself, you know, where I live is that place in the sun, and it's a big inspiration and a place for my imagination to kind of run wild. And so I really appreciated that song today. Plus the sun's come out, and we've moved out all that rain that we had, which was still beautiful. But I don't know about you, I was starting to feel like I lived in Oregon. But now is our time for conscious giving. And I just invite you, if you're going to choose to give, that, you know, that, again, this place in the sun, the place that we gather, the place where I look at this place for myself as a place to move out of that daily grind of life, the things we have to do, that we are forced to do, whether we want to or not, and we get to show up and be present and to hear Reverend Guy's words, and to know that this is like a place for me, is a place of repose. Even though I may be in service, it's still a rest away from all the other things that keeps us running and moving on, as Lee spoke about. So I just am truly grateful for this opportunity to give, and if you choose to, hold this to your heart and just know with me that in this giving, we are saying yes to this idea, what is one to come forth through the imagination here at the center, through each of you, through whatever you contribute, through service, money, time, volunteering, that it's just a place to continually create and to come together. And so we say, and so it is.
So Kurt and I were just talking. He's going to do the prayer circle outside in the courtyard. How lovely is that? I know. I'm trying to think of something that I need prayer for, so I can go out. Like I need an excuse.
Right,
Yeah. Guy
Need prayer, by the way.
By the way, yeah. By the
You
way,
just
Guy,
don't want to come.
yeah. Did you listen to your talk? Oh yeah. So I don't know who brought what, but it looks like there's a ton of food out there. So I just love that every week we get to reenact that whole mystical teaching, that there's a table set for everyone and that everyone's invited. So please participate, because it may be the most sacred thing we do on Sunday is to sit and share food together. It's a powerful thing. It taps into something very deep within us. So to all of you who brought anything today, thank you. And for those of you who will consume it today, thank you. So first of all, I want to do that. And Steve, thank you always for making it all work and making it come together. I want to thank you for that. Yeah. And I want to acknowledge somebody who is a friend of our community, and that's Mike Reardon. If you have not been down to the back end of the building, he's been painting down there, and he's been just making it look beautiful, and I'm just so grateful. Thank you so much, Michael. It's really looking good down there. And by the way, if you know anybody that needs an office for rent, we can help you. So that's kind of going on, and you guys always are good. Thanks, Hank, for having fun. Good. And Kurt, it's always a pleasure to be with you. And the greeters was Chris and Charla. So thank you for that. There's things going on in the gift shop, so check that out. The what? Oh, that TV's not on. I can't see it. Oh. They kept looking at it. So Charla, who is, if you don't know Charla, those who know Charla is a remarkable woman. And she is a fabulous teacher. And she is graciously offering a free class for those interested in exploring what it means to be an empath. And the dates are there. I still don't see it. What is an empath?
April 16th.
April
Sunday,
16th. That's next Sunday. Yeah, it's next Sunday after service. So plan on staying a little bit longer, and Charlotte will be teaching this class. And if there's interest, she's going to go further with that. So it's all about learning how to be an empath. So check that out. And anything that you want to say about that, Charlotte? I don't. Okay. This is when it's best if I stop. But before I do. It's like my teacher used to say, that guy, never pass up an opportunity to shut up. But before they do that, the most important thing that we do, other than classes and eat, is prayer. And so Kurt will be running a prayer circle, as I said, out in the courtyard. But there's other ways to receive prayer. You can fill out a form back there, and we will happily pray during the week. You can talk to one of the practitioners and ask them if they would pray with you today, and they'll be more than happy to do that. And so please do not leave without the benefit of prayer. I think I'm done. I think it's good. So let us pray our way out. So with that, on this Easter Sunday, this day of resurrection, of rejuvenation, this day when the promise that, behold, I make all things new, is here for each and every one of us. That Easter was not an event that happened long ago to one person, but it's a state of being that reveals itself and lures each of us into that. I want to give a special blessing today, too. Forgot to mention in my talk, so I'll just add in a blessing. My spiritual hero, Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, died on Easter Sunday 68 years ago, which will be tomorrow, April 10th. He had hoped to die on Easter Sunday as a testament to his work. And he did, bless his heart. And so I bless you, Father Chardin, for your great teaching, your wisdom, your love, your kindness, your compassion. You're willing to live a Good Friday and to ascend on Easter. And may we all be filled with that. May we transcend the cross to live in the glory and the light on this day and every day. And so it is.
So it is. It's a gratitude song. Thank you for this day. Got the slide up there. You can start with this. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. For this love, thank you for this love, Spirit. Thank you for this love. Thank you for this love, Spirit. Thank you for this love. This powerful, this powerful, this powerful love. This powerful, this powerful, this powerful love. Peace, thank you for this peace, Spirit. Thank you for this peace. Thank you for this peace, Spirit. Thank you for this peace. It's plentiful, this plentiful, this plentiful, this plentiful peace. This plentiful, this plentiful, this plentiful peace. Back to love. Thank you for this love, Spirit. Thank you for this love. Thank you for this love, Spirit. Thank you for this love. This powerful, this powerful, this powerful love. This powerful, this powerful, this powerful love. Back today. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. One more time. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Happy Easter, happy Sunday. We'll see you next week. Enjoy your food, enjoy your prayer.
Thanks, Jim.